Welcome to the Bendigo Footy League mid-season review. We're just going to go through the teams, tell you where they're sitting on the ladder, how their first half of the season's been, who's been playing well, and just let you know where we think they're going to go into the second half of the season. We'll start with Sandhurst. They're sitting top of the ladder, 9-0. They've had one draw. The co-coaches, Ash Connick and Bryce Curnow, have this team dominating the league at the moment. They're sitting top of the ladder. It all starts in the middle of the ground with their ruckman, Hamish Hosking. His tap work and clearances, he gets every game's outstanding. He leads the league in hit-outs. Not only that, he leads the league in clearances. For a big man in the game, he makes things look easy out there sometimes. Other players in like Nick Staggs, Noah Walsh, James Coughlin through the midfield, as well as their captain, Lee Coughlin. Andy Collins returns to the Dragons. They've got, small fellas like Sam Conforti, Cooper Smith. They've had good seasons so far. Their control of the game, they're going to be very hard to beat in the second half of the season. We're going to move to Golden Square. Golden Square, they're sitting second, 8-2. Christian Carter coaches the Square. They're in good form at the moment. After a straight sets exit from last year's final series, they're going to be looking to go further this year. Captain Jack Geary and Jake Thrum in defence. They look good. Thrum leads the league in marks. Joel Brett leads the goal kicking at the middle of the season. He's got 45 goals. Their big man Compy in the ruck. They've got the little fellas in Toma, Monty, Hickman in the middle around the grounds. They work hard every single week. Up forward, you've got Vaz, Joel Brett, Hamish Morecambe. I believe they've got a massive chance to go then to that last game of the year. Strathfield say they're sitting third with 7-3 under new coach Darryl Wilson. The Storm, they're just getting better every week. Their ball movement and spread has been good to watch. Their two generals in defence, Shannon Geary and Luke Webb, have been dominant. They set up the play in that back line so the ball can move forward nice and easy for them. The mids in McCarty, Moorhead, Clossy, Blandford, down to the forwards in Sharp and Shishka they've really gelled. Bode Stevens, Jed Brereton and Tim Hosking in the ruck, they're playing really well as well. Darryl has this team playing real good football. After losing the grand final last year to Gisborne, they want to take the next step this year. And they're well on their way to getting it done. They just need to keep playing good football in that second half of the season. We'll go to Eagle Hawk now, who's sitting fourth at 6-3 with one draw. Trav Matheson, he had them boys on fire in the first 5 games of the year. They went 5-0. Then they lost 3 games in a row, and looking at the losses, it was the result of inaccurate kicking. Their 3 losses, they kicked 29 goals, 40. They'll need to improve that in the second half of the season to show that they're real finals contenders. The pick-up with the Geary brothers, Jaron and Callan. Jaron's broken his arm at the moment. He's out for probably another 6 weeks or so he should be able to come back just before the finals. Their ruckman, Connor Dalglish, that they picked up at the start of the season, he's been great. His leap, his work rate around the ground's been good. You've got Noah Wheeler, Billy Evans, along with Lewin Davis, Joel Mullins and Hanley. They've had great seasons so far. You move forward, you've got the big man Darcy Richards, the captain Cameron McGlashan. They've been great up forward, along with Jack O'Shannessy when he plays. He pops up for a couple of goals every game. So I said, if their goal kicking improves, they're going to go deep into the finals this year. Noah Wheeler leads the league in inside 50s and goal assists. So they've got a real strong team to push them further into the finals. South Bendigo, they're sitting 5th at 6-4, and Nathan Horbury coaches the Bloods. They've had an okay start to the season. As you know, they've moved to their new home at Harry Trott Oval. They've got Steve Strubens back home in the Bloods colours, which has been good for the Bloods. The pick-up of their ruckman, Matt Cameron, his work rate around the ground, he's helped them out big time. Along with Brodie Haddow, Torpy in defence, Keck and Griffith, they've shown that the Bloods, can play good football. But I think they'll have to win about 80% of their games in the second half to show that they can go deep into the finals this year. Brodie Haddow's just been a standout for him. He leads the league in ranking points. He's second in disposals, second for inside 50s. They've got a real big chance to go further into the finals if they just keep playing. As I said, probably 80% win rate they need to get in that second half, but they could probably do it if they really tried. Kyneton, they're sitting 6 at 5-5. Paul Chapman, they had a slow start to the season, losing their first 3 games of the year. Then they went on a good run, winning 4 in a row. They got the 4 points for the round 6 game against Castlemaine that was abandoned, so technically they won 5 in a row. Harrison Huntley, he's got that back line working really well. Quinn, Foreman, Manuel, Youngins, good strong midfield. Orr and Eels have been great in the ruck. You got Big Summers up forward. Even when the small forwards go down there and kicking goals, you can see that the game plan that they want to do, what Chappie wants them to do. Yes, they had a bit of a lapse just before the mid-season break, but they're just going to get better and better. Comden, Crozier, Safstrom have been excellent all year. And I think if they were to make the finals, they'll probably have to win 6 or 7 out of the next 8 games left in the season. So let's just see how the mid-season break helps them get there. Gisborne, they're sitting 7th with 3 wins and 7 losses. Brad Fox coaches them. Not such a good start to the season after the win of the premiership last year, but they've lost a few players to retirement and other players going to other clubs during the off-season. They could have been higher on the ladder, but due to some goal-kicking yips, that has let them down. Their game plan looks good. They've come close to a couple of the top teams, but only time will tell in the second half of the season. They are a young side. Lakey, Spears, Luxmore, Fox, they've had good seasons so far. The move to put captain Jack Rooper up forward, that's been a good move. Big, tall fella. He's got some good, strong hands. It's a leading target. Braden Blake in the ruck, his work rate around the ground's been excellent all year. Let's hope they can turn it around in the second half of the season. Finn Lakey, he's been sensational so far. He's 4th in tackles, 3rd in ranking points, 3rd in disposals, 2nd in clearances. He just had a real stellar season so far. Kangaroo Flat, they're sitting 8th with 3 wins and 7 losses. Nathan John's coached the Roos, haven't had the best start of the season. They looked really slow at first, and it looked like they were starting to get things together when they beat Eagle Hawk for the first time. I thought it would have given a bit of a boost, but give a bit more confident, but it's been a little bit up and down. The Rouse brothers, Zach and Jordan, have shown a lot when they play. Truella, Whitty, Roberts, Collins, they've had good seasons. They picked up ex-GWS and Hawks player Jonathan Patton for a couple of games. But unfortunately, Kangaroo Flat have parted ways with Nathan Johns. You've probably heard after he was suspended for abusing an umpire, which we don't need in our game. Umpires make mistakes, so do players. It's what happens during football. Everybody makes mistakes. There's nothing you can do about it. I haven't heard who's taken over yet, so let's hope they step it up in the second half of the season. Truella, he leads the league in tackles. Hopefully, new coach, new mindset, might give them a couple of more wins before the end of the season. Only time will tell. Castlemaine, they're sitting 9th at 2 wins and 7 losses. Brad Shepherd's got them. They haven't had the best first half of the season, but they're a team that never gives up, mate. They always fight until the end of the end siren. Their ball movement at times is excellent. They know where they want to go, what they want to do. Their backline in Wilkinson and Brodie Byrne, they've been great so far. Philo, Pedretti, McConaughey and Franklin, great around the ground. John Watson, who's been a standout for Castlemaine this season, with more confidence in their game plan, they easily get a couple more wins in the second half of the season. We'll move on to Maryborough, who are sitting 10th, no wins, 10 losses. Kobe Perry coaches Maryborough. As I said, they haven't had a win so far this season. Their ball movement sometimes looks erratic and rushed. You can see what they want to do when they're in possession, but they rush. They miss targets, miss handballs. They need to slow down just a little bit when in possession and try to control the game. They've got some good players down there at Maryborough. Frankie in defence has been excellent, leading the league in intercepts. He's 2nd in 1% efforts. Joel Swatton leads the league for pressure acts. They've got players like Freeman, Bucknell, Postal, Britton, McClure, and they've got the big man Stewart in the ruck. He's work rate around the ground all season. For a big man like that, the way he moves around the ground, he wins his fair share of hit outs. they just need to put everything together in the second half of the season, and they should be able to get themselves a win, maybe get 2 wins, but only time will tell with that. Well, that was our review. As I said, Sandhurst, they're just dominant. They're the flag favourites at the moment. Golden Square are going to be there. You know that. They're just getting better. Strathfield say Darryl's got these boys playing some real good football. As I said, you got the 2 generals in the back line and Channing Geary and Luke Webb. Eaglehawk should be there. They clean up their goal kicking. They'll go a long way into that finals. South Bendigo, as I said, they probably need to win 80% of their games throughout the rest of the season. Same as Kyneton, they're going to have to win probably 6 or 7 of the 8 games. Gisborne, not sure if they'll make it, but they could turn things around in that second half, and get themselves ready for 2024. But that's it for me on this review. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, subscribe to the channel, like and share the page, and follow us on Facebook, Bendigo Footy Podcast. And remember, guys, let's keep local football and netball alive and respect the umpires. I'll catch you in the next one.